How to become a better designer. I was in my local cafe the other day and I drink way too much coffee. I was talking to the barista and she was saying how she's an artist or an aspiring artist, but how she's finding it really difficult to find the time or make the time as part of her everyday life to do the art that she loves, but to also find new ideas and inspiration and work out what the next steps should be for her to turn that passion into her life and the way that she makes a living into the future. And that got me thinking about the creative process in general, and whether you're just starting out or you're already established, what are the things that you can do as part of your everyday life to help you to make the time to find new ideas and inspiration, and just to make sure that you're continuing to always evolve and improve. And obviously the first starting point, depending on what it is that you want to focus on, if you're an artist or a designer or some other type of creative, each one of those things has its own range of specific skills, knowledge, and experience that you can only get through doing that specific thing. If you want to become a great architect, you've got to spend time focusing on doing architecture. There's no way around that. And whilst each one of those specific disciplines have their own specific skills, it also got me thinking about the creative process in general and the thinking and processes that are common across all of those different areas. And thinking about my experience as a designer and what I've learned along the way, and what I would say to someone if they were looking for advice on things that they could do to help them become a better designer. I've been working as an urban designer for over 25 years now, and I've been fortunate enough to work on some pretty amazing projects throughout the world. But when I try to explain to people what it is that I actually do, it's kind of a tricky question to answer, because the projects I work on vary so much in terms of the type and scale. On one end, I work on large-scale new city designs, and then on the other end, I work on smaller projects like individual pieces of furniture, artwork, and signage. And some of the projects that I work on are more about the thinking and connecting people, and they're not really physical projects at all. When I first started working as an urban designer, I was a little bit, not confused, but I somehow felt it was a lesser form of design because it wasn't as specific as some of the other disciplines. It kind of floats in the grey area in between. But then I came to realise that a lot of the greatest places and designs are actually created in this grey area, at the crossover between different disciplines and thinking, where different ideas connect and form new ideas. And this got me thinking about design in a different way, and how I could actually use this broader and more cross-discipline approach to design as a strength, and how it could actually make me become a better designer. Now, I don't pretend to be an architect or a landscape architect or a graphic designer. I'm really clear about that because I understand that each one of those is its own specialist discipline and have their own special range of skills, training, and expertise. In my experience, whilst I've seen how these different areas of design each have their own skills and expertise that make them special, there's also a lot of crossover between the underlying thinking and processes between the different areas of design. There's things that you can do and skills that you can develop, and even ways of thinking that you can shape that will help you to become a better designer, regardless of whether you're wanting to design buildings or furniture or typefaces. Over my career, I've also seen how the different areas of design are always changing. I don't want this to sound like one of those back in my day types of speeches, but when I started 25 years ago, the internet wasn't really a thing, or not like it is now. There was no 3D, and a lot of the technologies that people use as being fundamental to the design process now didn't even exist. The shift in focus towards the environment as being central to everything that we design, the changing patterns in the places and the ways in which we work, and possibly most of all, the continued advancements in technology are just continually reshaping the world of design and even how we live our everyday lives. The best designers I know are continually adapting and trying new things and cross across the boundaries of these different disciplines to come up with new ideas. So you might be thinking, where am I actually going with all of this? Well, I was thinking the other day about some of the things that I spoke about at the start of this video, about the different types of design and creativity, about their differences and their similarities, and how, for me, so often the best ideas and new designs come at the crossover between art and design and the different creative fields. And what does this mean for someone who's just starting out, or someone who's looking for some new ideas on what they can do to help them to become a better artist or designer or creative? So I've come up with the idea of sharing 10 ideas or things that I've developed throughout my career to help try to make myself a better designer. And hopefully this will provide other people, you, with some ideas and inspiration for what you might be able to do to help you become a better artist or designer or creative. These will range from tips around the space that you make to create and work in, improving the way that you communicate your ideas and designs, through to just ideas for finding inspiration as part of your everyday life. But rather than trying to jam it all into one video, I thought I'd create a separate video for each idea or tip. And this will just give a bit more of an opportunity to provide some more detailed information and also some real life examples. So this is really just the introduction to get the ball rolling. So I thought I'd call it 10 ways to become a better designer. It might end up becoming 8, it might end up becoming 12, but you get the general idea. And I think the first one is going to be my guide for creating a space to work in that actually inspires you, makes you feel more creative, and can actually help you to become a better designer. And hopefully that will provide you with some ideas for your own space and just inspire you to keep designing, creating, and making.